All hell has broken loose as Ukraine, under President Ukrainian, launched a massive assault on Moscow with more than 620 drones. Among the primary targets struck was a major logistics facility belonging to the e-commerce giant Wildberries in the Moscow region, along with several other sites. Footage and reports indicate that approximately 627 drones targeted locations in and around the Russian capital, triggering widespread chaos. Moscow's night sky was lit up by explosions, forcing the closure of all four of the city's major airports. Blasts echoed across neighborhoods as Russian air defense systems scrambled to intercept the incoming drones, frequently sending debris crashing down directly into residential areas. Video records show Ukrainian Firepoint (FP) drones maneuvering through Moscow's airspace. A massive blaze completely engulfed a primary Wildberries logistics hub in Kolochevo. Often described as Russia's equivalent to Amazon, Wildberries is alleged by Ukraine to be utilized by the Russian military for wartime logistical support. Simultaneously, widespread internet outages knocked out key online services across Russia, accompanied by blackouts in parts of Moscow. In response to the strikes, Russian logistics and delivery operators have urgently begun removing Wildberries branding from their fleet vehicles. On the diplomatic front, Moscow has issued severe threats against the United Kingdom following reports that British-manufactured drones were utilized in these strikes deep within Russian territory. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov stated that Russia reserves the right to view Britain's direct involvement as active participation in the conflict, warning of all ensuing consequences. The Russian embassy echoed this, emphasizing that the Greater London's involvement and support for Ukraine, the higher the price it will ultimately pay. British leadership reaffirmed its unwavering stance in response, stating that the UK will stand 100% behind Ukraine to help defend against Russia's illegal invasion.
Russia now accusing the United Kingdom of escalating the war and warning that London's actions will inevitably carry consequences. What is your message to President Putin in response?
This is the UK doing what it has long said it would do, which is to support Ukraine 100% against this illegal war led by Vladimir Putin. We are providing support so that Ukraine can defend itself, and that's been the British position all the way through this conflict by previous Prime Ministers. It remains the case with me. We are not fair weather friends. We will be there in Ukraine's hour of need.
British officials reiterated that London is not a fair-weather friend and will continue its defensive military assistance in Ukraine's hour of need. In related international developments, Donald Trump announced sweeping sanctions and asset freezes against the International Criminal Court, ICC, President Tomoko Akane. This move forms part of a broader campaign to dismantle the ICC and shield figures such as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Backing this posture, the administration in Colombia also announced its withdrawal from the ICC. Trump previously stated that the court needed to be challenged to protect Netanyahu and allied interests. Economically, Trump is evaluating a last-minute agreement with Canada to avoid 50% tariffs scheduled to take effect at midnight. Under the potential terms, Canada would ease retaliatory measures and provide dairy concessions in exchange for U.S. reductions on certain auto tariffs. Reacting to global instability, French President Emmanuel Macron urged reliance on European solidarity and autonomy, calling for unity in a fractured international landscape where daily violations of international law and bloc mentalities threaten global order. On the tactical front, The New York Times reports that Ukrainian frontline drone operators are increasingly leveraging near real-time commercial satellite imagery. Intelligence feeds that previously required days to transmit now reach field units in 15 minutes to a few hours, allowing precision strikes against Russian troop clusters, supply lines, electronic warfare units, and air defense assets across occupied regions and Crimea. Despite these drone capabilities, Ukraine remains in a precarious position due to a critical shortage of air defense interceptors capable of stopping Russian ballistic missiles. Russian forces have expanded forward drone hubs and missile launch sites along the border, signaling imminent heavy ballistic strikes against Kyiv and energy infrastructure. Military analysts warn that the coming winter will present severe challenges, turning the conflict into a race against time as Ukraine uses deep drone strikes to disrupt Russian operational capacity before winter sets in.